All right, let's face it, color grading can be painful. You tweak for hours, it still looks meh. You end up slapping a lot on it and calling it a day. But what if I told you that there's another way to get that legit film look without the headache? You see, I started photography on film, and back then it was affordable. Now it costs more than a kidney on a black market. So like every other film enthusiast, I spent way too much time trying to fake it with filters, LUTs, YouTube tutorials, you name it, I have tried it. And then I found Dehancer and it changed my life. All right, I think that's a bit too dramatic. No, but seriously, this is the easiest way to get that real film look. Let me show you how. So Dehancer is a film emulation plugin, but unlike slapping a basic LUT on your footage, this thing actually behaves like real film. Film stocks, Kodak, Fuji, Ilford, pick your poison, it's all here. Halation and bloom, that subtle glow you get on real film, it's here. Film grain, not just added noise, this is actually like texture. Print options, mimic real darkroom processes. Seriously, tons of control, maybe too much control, but we'll get to that. But let me tell you the best part, it takes seconds to get a solid look. Let me show you how I do it. All right, so here's a clip I captured in Shanghai, China on my recent visit. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop that in the timeline, go to color. And what I'm going to do is, it's already here actually, I'm gonna show you how to do. I'm just gonna search for Dehancer in the library, drag and drop that on top of my clip, and look what happens. It already applies the color grade on top. But this is not what we want, guys. What I normally do is I scroll right to the bottom, I select disable all tools, and what that does is it unchecks all these boxes because I actually want to choose and pick what I want applied to my footage. So starting off with film, this is what I do. I click on enable and pick the film type. Look at the different types of films there are, guys. This is absolutely insane. For this particular image, what I want to do is I want to pick Kodak Ektar 100. And look at that straight away. Let me just go to the before and after. So that's the before, that's the after. Straight away, I'm already happy with what I mean, I can finish here right now. That's it, this is done. But let's see what some of the other stuff does. So you've got this push and pull slider. This is sort of like a digital representation of how the film is processed, whether it's over processed or it's under processed. And in film processing, we call that push and pull. So this is a very important slider. If you're not happy with the way your footage looks, you might want to play around with this straight away. I like the sort of bluey, cyberpunky tone. I'm going to stick to that here. Now I'm going to go to film developer. Let's enable that. I don't like really using many of these, maybe the color boost. So I'm going to boost the color slightly to bring back some of them tones. Let me just show you if I go the other way. And if you're not sure, if it's not making much of a difference, what I normally do is I go to the extremes and sort of settle somewhere in between wherever I'm happy. And I think I'm happy with this at 20.9. Yeah, that'll do. So with film compression, depending on what type of footage you got, you might want to have a play around with this. I'm going to actually leave it alone, but you can see what some of these sliders might do. I mean, these sliders don't really appear to be doing anything on this. As you can have a look at the histogram here, there's not much detail in the highlights. So we're going to leave that alone. I'm going to scroll down to expand. This is what I like. So if I enable this and go increase the black points, what that does is it gives me that crushed sort of black contrasty film look, which I absolutely love. Let me just reduce the white points. So this is going to bring back the highlights slightly. I'm just going to go to before and after, and let's go down to the next one, print. This actually refers to what the footage was printed on. So Kodak 2383 print film, for example, this is like a Hollywood go-to. So if I select that, this mimics the classic Hollywood look as if this footage was printed on that film stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to exposure because I think it's quite dark. I'm just going to increase that slightly, go back to the top and bring back the blacks. And remember, guys, there's no harm in going back and adjusting some of the other settings. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go up to film developer again, and I'm going to boost a little bit more of the color. Try not to make it look too artificial. All right, that's great. Film grain is great. I'm going to show you what it looks like, but for this particular footage, because it was shot at a high ISO, I don't think it's not really going to do me any favors by applying film grain, but you can see the choice of film grain that you've got for different type of negatives. I'm going to leave that off. Halation, which gives it a film characteristic, it gives it a halo glow around the light. So let me just zoom in slightly here so you can see. I'm going to enable and disable that. You can see around the lights there's a halo sort of red glow effect. Now this is a characteristic of film, so, and you can increase and decrease that here, and I quite like this effect quite a lot. I think this really sells a film effect, so I love that. I try and apply that whenever I can. So I'm gonna leave that on. Bloom, I'm gonna enable this as well. This is slightly stronger. This gives the lights that misty glow. Let me just zoom out so you can see. I'm gonna disable that, I'm gonna enable that. But again, I think this is quite strong, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bring that back down. And let's go to film damage. This is great if you wanna mimic the dusts and specks to really sell that old film negative stock look. I don't want to do that. I'm going to disable that. Don't breathe. This doesn't really make much of an impact on my current footage, so I'm just going to leave that. Gate weave, and this slightly zooms in. I don't think this makes much of a difference, to be honest. Gate weave, I'm going to leave that. And overscan, if I think this is a bit gimmicky, but again, it does depend what type of effect you're trying to achieve. So I'm going to enable that just to show you what it looks like. Again, you can select different types of effects from here. And to me, I think this looks quite gimmicky, so I'm just going to disable that for this particular clip. Vignetting, I'm not going to enable this. I'll show you what it looks like, but I think there's plenty of vignette going on here. Anyway, I don't want to apply any more, so it doesn't really work for this. Output, this is what you want to control. So what I normally do is I take this slider all the way back just to see what the original looked like, and then I gradually increase it to see what the overall, because it is really easy to get carried away with all these options. So what I normally do is maybe bring it back maybe slightly just yet. I'm happy with that. But there you go, guys. You can see how quickly I've done this. I'm just going to make this full screen and play that clip so you can see for yourself. Let's get out of that and let's just go to a quick before and after. That's the before and that is the after. Isn't that insane? All right, so real talk. What's actually good about this plugin? It's insanely accurate. Probably the most accurate film emulation plugin I've used, hands down. It saves so much time. No endless sort of tweaking with different techniques and learning from different YouTube videos. I mean, you can if you want. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there around it. Having said that, the control is next level. You can actually fine tune everything. Okay, so what don't I like about the plugin? One of the things I don't really like about the plugin is if you're running DaVinci Resolve on a toaster, good luck trying to run this plugin, because the grain effect alone can take up quite a lot of processing power. Oh, and one more thing, it's not really the cheapest plugin out there, but if you want to try Dehancer for DaVinci Resolve for yourself, feel free to use my promo code and you'll get 10% off it. I'll put the link in the description. But overall, it's 100% worth it if you want that true film look. Oh, and if you're more of a mobile phone editor, they've even got a mobile phone app. Same deal. Film looks, easy to use, perfect for quick edits on the go. If you've used Dehancer yourself, let me know in the comments below. Film magic or overhyped? Let's talk.